I am all moved in to my new place. As you can see, I do have a very aggressive white noise machine going in the background. That is my air conditioner. I hope you'll humor me with that. It's at least a regular and soothing sound. Hi, Flags. Thank you for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you, Kayla. Thank you for coming. It's good to see you. So, I'm kind of getting back into the hang of things. The lyrics that I used for the song title and the lyrics that I'll be using this week are from the band Psychic Graveyard. The drummer in that band is one of my best friends. And they're a really good band. So if you enjoy that kind of music, I hope you'll check them out. But I'm kind of just going to jump right into it today. Because I'm still kind of getting adjusted and being in the new place and such. So we're going to start with the water sign of Cancer. And Cancer, if you would like to go ahead and set your intention, allow any thoughts and ideas that are associated with that intention, allow those things to rise up to the forefront of your mind and just wait there patiently while I shuffle the cards. Now, if there's anything about this that you're coming for the reading today that is stressful to you or is causing you discomfort or causing you some kind of mental anguish or anxiety or sleepless nights, I invite you to gently breathe through that energy. So as you inhale, draw in divine source energy. Let it circulate through the electron transport chain of your mitochondria. And then at the very end, where we have the CO2 byproduct coming out, just allow any of those negative vibrations or pieces of tension, just release those. And then exhale it on your breath. Okay. And I do have a few card decks here in front of me. So I may pull Happy 8/8, Kayla. I knew somebody that 8/8 was their birthday and they were born in 1988. Very lucky energy. Very lucky. Very lucky. All right. So let me see what we have here. Oh, wow, that's really cool. I don't know as much about the life path and destiny numbers, but I'm kind of getting into that. That's what Steve uses over on Not Angel Radio, 7 Tarot. All right, let me see. Oh, hi, Super Queen Bee. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I need to make a note of my timestamps. Here we go. 5.5. Okay. Cancer, here for you in the past. I have this Ace of Swords in the upright. Now, the Ace of Swords showing up upright like this in the past has to do with you, Cancer, making some kind of positive change in your life. You were acting as the agent of change in your own existence. And this is an energy that is continuing into the current situation. So we'll look at that a little bit more as we continue with the reading. We do have in the place of the significator, seduction, the spider. You could be seducing someone at this time, or someone could be seducing you. Seduction is also an energy that can be around places. Anybody who's ever been to Italy has probably been seduced by a place, although it could really happen anywhere. Seduction can also have to do with ideas, ideologies. It can have to do with your relationship to certain things in your life. So there's a seduction of some kind going on for you in the current situation, Cancer. And we have a continuation of this Ace of Swords energy with the Major Arcana card of Death, Scorpionic energy. In this case, death is about the transformation that is... Sorry, that might have been a little bit loud. Death is the transformation that's taking place as a result of these changes that you were putting into effect with the Ace of Swords. And that's how we see that energy carried into the current situation. Down in the Imam Silai, we have the Nine of Wands, and this card is showing up in the reverse. You've let your guard down. So we see some interesting energies here that you are being seduced by something or someone, and you have let your guard down as a result of that. Or possibly that you are in the process of seducing someone or something, drawing it into you. And in order to do that, you have to let your guard down. Here, from your perspective, looking out, we have the Nine of Pentacles, Cancer. So this is an excellent energy for financial freedom, an excellent energy for financial success and stability. This is somebody who not only has more than enough for themselves, but can also invest in others. They have time for leisure activities. And we have that little snail down in the corner of this card, reminding us that easy come, easy go, slow and steady wins the race. From an outsider's perspective, looking in on your situation, we have the Three of Swords. This card is showing up in the reverse. So those looking in from the outside into your situation see that you're leaving behind disagreements and conflict. And this could be part of this change that you're making. I see kind of an overall theme for you here, that there's a change involving the way that you interact with others. So it could be that you are getting to a point in your life where you're able to be more endearing, more charming, and that is how you persuade others to your point of view. Oh gosh, I really need to cut my bangs. I just have kind of like I've got like sweaty Hot Topic circa 2012 hair. I'll fix it by the next video, I promise. Well, maybe not promise, but I'll fix it by the next video. So here in the future, we have the cat. This card is showing up reversed. And because it's in the future, we have the potential for this energy to then eventually be in the upright. But let's see. I don't read the reversal for that very often. The less you see, the more you know. So, especially where it has to do with the future, if you are prying and seeking out answers, the more information you have about given situations, the less you will be able to properly discern what's going on. So keep that in mind. That maybe it's not necessary to pry too deeply into the future at this time. Here in your hopes and fears, we have the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Now, this is in opposition to where we have that Nine of Pentacles in the upright from your perspective. So, this Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, you could be leaving some kind of long-term career prospect that you had until recently been a part of, such that you are seeking out more like passive sources of income. That's a possibility. This speaks kind of to like a trade in particular, possibly. So you could be hoping to retire, but you could also be hoping for a change in career. Now, I don't see a lot of career energy specifically in this reading, but a lot of the energies that we've been talking about are very conducive to drawing in the things that you desire out of your life. Specifically, this card here where we're talking about seduction. Up here in the midheaven, so this is going to be the result of where you are letting your guard down in the Imam Silai. And up here in the midheaven, we have the Judgment card. Now it's showing up in the reverse. And this has to do with being tested and ascending to higher levels. This is a trial by fire. We have Pluto energy associated with this card. We also have elemental fire energy associated with this card. So the tumultuous change energy of flame, and also that unquantifiable unknown of the most distant planet that we're aware of in our solar system. We don't even know for sure if it's a planet or not, Pluto. So similar to scorpionic energy, but not quite, because we have that elemental fire, right? And where this card is showing up in the reverse, there could be a situation where you draw somebody in that is perhaps not exactly what you're looking for. So we're looking now at the finer tuned discernment of these situations, such that you could be attracting a lot of flies with your web. And if your guard is too down and you're not properly vetting people, then overall you will not pass the test to ascend to a higher level of what you're doing. But that is not to say that this couldn't easily be reversed. This is a future energy. And remember, we were talking about the less you see, the more you know. So there's also an indication that at this time, you may need to rely more on your gut instincts regarding other people. And don't just be afraid of conflict. Don't just react as an avoidance of conflict. Because our final outcome card, and the card that kind of gives like the closing advice, this kind of wraps up any loose ends, we have the door. And this card also is showing up in the reverse. Let me just make sure that I get the proper meaning for that. So, access being prevented to the portal. And this is in opposition to this Three of Swords energy that's reversed. So if you are too conflict avoidant, this door is going to remain closed to you. What we're really seeing here for you, Cancer, is a need to confront this more finely tuned discernment in regards to your emotional affairs with other people. We don't have passive energies here. We have active energies here. We've got the wands, and this is coming very close to the end of a cycle. And then we also have these swords, and the swords often talk about discernment. And if you'll notice, we have multiples of 3 here. So the 3 swords and the 9 wands. There's a bit of balance with these passive pentacles here, but really this is a lot of active energy, and because these cards are showing up reversed, it looks like you are not fully at this time able to harness and control those active energies. But the potential is there for you to control them. We have this Ace of Swords, right, in the past. So we know that you're capable of controlling these active energies. Just really trust your gut and vet the things that you are seducing into your life, because that is going to be the key to having these things become upright energies in your future. Thank you, Cancer. Thank you, 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 thank you. That is going to conclude the Cancer reading for this Actually, you know what? I got this lenticular deck from Threads of Fate, the Empyrean deck. And I was going to pull one of these cards for each of the signs. And we're just going to kind of meditate on the meanings. Each card has like one main word as the meaning. So let's see what comes up for you, Cancer. And we'll see if I can even get this to show up on camera. We have, let's see, first of all, focus. And then this card says amplify, if you can see that. This one's a little difficult to see. But you want to amplify your signal. Cast a wide net, but then don't bring all of that back to shore. Go through, amplify. You'll notice when you amplify a signal, you generate a lot of noise. And sorry for any of those extraneous mouth pops that I make. Sorry about that. That's one of the things about live streams, is that I kind of have to just go with whatever comes out. But I try not to do that, so sorry. So you're going to want to work on eliminating some of that noise. Purifying your signal as you amplify it. Living out loud. And so that is going to conclude the Cancer reading for this week. And if you'll humor me for a moment, I am going to play with the there we go. Yeah. Play with the colors on my camera just a little bit. Make it a little bit brighter. So next we are going to read for the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio, 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 Scorpio. And Scorpio, if you would, just go ahead and gently set an intention for the reading. If it's something that causes you stress or discomfort, I invite you to gently breathe through that energy. But just go through, do kind of like a little bit of a body scan. Go through and analyze this topic, this intention that you've set for the reading. Kind of go through your body and notice where tension is being held. See if there are things directly related to the topic at hand. See if there are things that are not related to the topic at hand. Sometimes discomfort of one kind will mask discomfort of a different kind. So just kind of go through and notice where the tension and pain is being held. And I want you to inhale, if you would. Draw in divine source energy with all of those beautiful oxygen molecules. Allow that oxygen to travel through your electron transport chain. As it does, it's just going to kind of round up all of that negative energy. And then when we get to the very end of that electron transport chain, we're releasing that CO2. We're just going to send all of that out with the breath. It will be returned to source, and it will be transmuted. And then I'll go ahead and draw my Empyrean deck card now at the top of the reading. And I'll show you that at the end of the reading. So the Scorpio timestamp is, there we go. And let's get started. Here in the past, we have the Knight of Swords. So this is very similar to what was going on with Cancer. The Knight of Swords is a house cleaning type energy. Think about your spring cleaning, where you go through and you analyze, do I want to keep this? Do I want to get rid of it? Do I need to put this in long-term storage? And you're just kind of going through, cutting, clearing the waste out. This can pertain to cleaning in particular, but it can also have to do with other areas of your life, friend groups, ideologies, jobs, etc. We see this fire of air energy in the upright in the past. So that shows me that continuing into the current situation, you are working on this process in your life. I like to drink yerba mate tea. I make it in a percolator on the stovetop. I don't drink it in the traditional way, but I prefer that as my method of caffeine consumption. Okay, so here in the current situation, we do see continuing themes from this Knight of Swords that we've got here. Now a slightly more refined discernment going on with this Seven of Pentacles. You're evaluating work that you've put into something and seeing what the fruit of your labor has been in that area. And this is crossed by the Lover's card. This is Gemini energy. So maybe you have Gemini in your chart, Scorpio, and can have to do with a choice, or can have to do with a romantic relationship. So there could be situations where you are evaluating your close relationships to see the energy that you've put in. See the energy that you've put in versus what you are getting out of those relationships. And this could be one romantic relationship in particular. But the Lover's card can also be a choice. So you could have two paths that you could take at this time. This would be a pretty life-changing situation. There's also a duality to the Lover's card, hence why it is associated with the sign of Gemini. So sometimes it can also be about bringing together disparate parts of the self. But we see, rather than like a finely tuned discernment, we're kind of using this hack, slash, and burn, waste clearing discernment. Down here in the Imam Silai, Scorpio, we have the Eight of Swords. So you could feel kind of trapped in a situation of some kind. This could be that you feel like you're kind of stuck, especially if it has to do with this labor in, resources out equation. If you do have a choice to make, obviously, when you make that choice, you'll no longer be stuck. And we can use some math here, that if you did have that Two of Swords choice, then you could bring an ending to this situation. But for some reason in the current, you might not be able to see the particular way forward. From your perspective, Scorpio, looking out, we have the Two of Pentacles and it's reversed. So there's an unevenness to some situation. And if this has to do with a coupling, the relationship is not equally yoked. That one person is putting much more into the relationship than the other person. This could also have to do with a business partnership in which one party benefits from the partnership much more than the other. Or this could just be about your own life, Scorpio, feeling out of balance. And of course, if you have a decision to make and you're evaluating things right now, you're going to be looking specifically at areas of your life where that's the case, because that's going to be what you want to address. Oh, how delightful. I always love to see the Queen of Wands show up in readings, and this is a wonderful placement for you to get this card, Scorpio. The Queen of Wands is showing up as the perspective of outside people looking in on your situation. And this Queen of Wands is somebody who's very charismatic, very light of the party, life of the party, very charming, sparkling conversationalist. This is water of fire energy. So perhaps you have fire sign energy in your chart somewhere, Scorpio, prominently. But I think more importantly, this is how people see you at this time, that they see you as this Queen of Wands, very charming, very charismatic, very fun to be around. Here in the future, we've got big sugar daddy energy with the King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups isn't necessarily a sugar daddy, but could be, and has to do with somebody who's very nurturing and an active provider coming into your life. So the difference between the passive energy of the Queen of Cups and the active energy of the King of Cups is that the Queen of Cups energy is somebody who will nurture you emotionally. But the King of Cups is somebody who might end up providing for you, paying your rent. They might even be like a mentor to you. And I apologize, we do have dogs. They are outside. I do have to keep my window open so that I can run my AC and vent it to the outside. Hopefully, that sounds like Precious. Hopefully she'll calm her tits in a minute. She is a delightful little fluffy mess. Here in the hopes and fears, we have the Knight of Cups reversed. So you might be afraid that you can't trust your intuition in certain areas of your life. And this is because of this perceived imbalance here. So you might be getting gaslit a lot about a particular situation. And if that is the case, that would make sense as to why you might feel trapped by something. This King of Cups is not going to be involved in that. So this can be provider energy. It can be a benefactor of some kind, but can also be a workplace that's particularly fostering. This could be a boss who sees your potential and really wants to develop your professional potential as well. So it doesn't have to just be about emotional active nurturing within like a relationship. It can also have to do with people contributing these emotional aspects to other areas. And especially because we are seeing, we've got the Two of Pentacles here. We also have this Seven of Pentacles. So it can be a romantic reading, but it really feels more like in the context of your material resources, what you have available to you. So not necessarily a job, but all of these things fitting together overall. Here in the midheaven for you, Scorpio. This is going to be the result of you feeling kind of stuck in the current situation. And the result of this is that you are waiting for things to return to you from the energies that you've put out there. Hi, Marie. How are you? It's so good to see you. Thank you for coming. Now, the potential is there, of course, for this energy to become upright and for those things to return, especially if part of what you are drawing in is this King of Cups. We don't have the seduction card here for you like we did for Cancer. So you're not necessarily seducing this King of Cups into you. They might be attracted to you for other reasons, especially like we have this Queen of Wands here, being very charming, being very disarming, possibly. So, where we have this card in the reverse, the potential is there for things to return to you from the energies that you've been expending in situations. But the longer that you remain stuck or perceivedly stuck, because that's the key to the Eight of Swords, right? Is maybe not that we're necessarily stuck, but that we feel stuck. We feel stagnant and trapped. But it's a minor arcana energy too. This is not the Hanged Man. And this person could walk forward and free themselves if they so desire. Their head's right there in front of them. So I think that's going to be the key to having these things returned to you, is finding ways to liberate yourself from that feeling of being stuck, the boredom, the doldrums, so that you can move forward and be effective. And of course, it's a general reading. If I were reading for someone in particular, I would probably pull clarifiers on that. So our final outcome, we have the King of Wands here in the reverse. This is a very harsh energy. It's active energy, and it is air of fire. So sometimes the King of Wands reversed can be somebody who is too hot-tempered to be effective, somebody who demands their way. King of Wands can also be a deadbeat dad type energy. It's not his most flattering light, for sure. And this is in opposition to this Queen of Wands energy that we had coming out, where the perceptions of you are actually quite favorable. So these final outcome energies here, where we have that Three of Wands reversed and that King of Wands reversed, that there's this idea that if you are too impatient, or if you get too hot-blooded about that energy that you have expended, that it has the potential to be the undoing of the situation. I'm not getting an overt sense of frustration here from your reading, Scorpio, but we do have a lot of active energies here in your reading. And we do have some cups, court cards balancing that out. But I think the key is going to be not playing too much into the active energies. Remember, Queen of Wands is water balancing fire. So it's a nice balanced energy. If you start feeling like these aggressive energies building up in you in relation to impatience, about feeling stuck, or that you've put a lot of energy into situations, you haven't gotten back what you wanted out of them. Anytime you feel yourself getting frustrated about things like that, kind of take a step back from that particular situation, because I don't think that is what is going to bring you closer to this. And now I'm going to look at the Empyrean deck card that I pulled for you. These are lenticular cards. This is the deck. It's made by this company called Threads of Fate. There we go. And the card that I pulled for you is Discovery. Discovery, 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 discovery. So I'm not getting the sense that you're on the precipice of something huge, right? But as far as knowing the way forward, I do think you're very close to that. We do have this choice that's going to need to be made. Oh, come on, focus. Okay. We do have this choice that needs to be made. And the result of that is going to be what propels the action. Now, this is an energy that is showing up upright in the future, which means that it's more probable than not. So no matter what choice you make, it's going to bring you closer to this. But this choice might also bring you closer to this becoming upright and those energies being returned to you. Just don't get wrapped up in a sunk cost fallacy. All right, so that is going to conclude the Scorpio reading for this week. And I am going to go after this live stream has concluded to the members side of the channel, and I'm going to do some mirror scrying, mirror in my hand. Tell me who is the most grand. If you are interested in that, you're cordially invited, but of course your presence on the channel is greatly appreciated in whatever form it takes. Alright, so the final water sign that I'll be reading for today is Pisces. So we made it to Pisces. And Pisces, if you would, just go ahead and set your intention for the reading and allow any of those thoughts or ideas that have to do with the topic at hand to rise up to the forefront of your thoughts and wait there patiently while I shuffle the cards. And just kind of gently go through your aura, your psyche, your self. Gently go through and look for little areas where you might be holding on to tension or stress or anxiety. And go ahead and take a deep breath in. And as you draw in those oxygen molecules, you will also be drawing in the divine source energy. And allow that oxygen molecule to just jump right through your electron transport chain in each one of your mitochondria. And then when we get to the end of that electron transport chain, all of the negative vibrations, anything that you've been holding on to that it's time to let go, we're just gonna release that on the breath, Pisces. And it will be returned to source, and it will be transmuted. I'm also going to pull one of these Empyrean cards, and I'll show you that at the end of the reading. All right, so my timestamp. And let's get started. Here in the past, we have the Queen of Cups. So this is water of water energy, very Piscean energy. This is somebody who is very nurturing, very maternal. Somebody who holds others' emotional health in more importance sometimes than their own as well. So watch out for that, Pisces. Here in the current situation, we have a couple of the Secret Arcana cards. We have the Lizards, which is about give and take. You can see there's a cyclical nature to that give and take, and it's crossed by the hourglass. So you have plenty of time the lizards, let me make sure that I get the upright meaning. Take a little. So together with the lizards and the hourglass, we're kind of looking at time as a resource. We're looking at time as something that can be given and taken. Giving time, taking time. And that for you in the current situation, Pisces, it's going to be important for you to take time, whether that means taking time off from a job, whether it means sharing time with another person, specifically giving yourself a little extra time to get tasks done and complete. Because you are bringing this Queen of Cups, very passive water of water energy into the current situation. So there might be a little extra time needed for emotional discernment, using one's intuition, things like that. Down in the Imam Sili, so for you Pisces, down in the Imam Sili, this is going to be the foundations upon which the future is built. We do have the Emperor in the reverse. Somebody in a position of authority not treating you very fairly at this time, possibly. Or it can have to do with despotism, and can also have to do with things related to institutional structures that are unfair, things that need to change. So there are some things that you're butting up against at this time, Pisces, that fall into that category. But this is actually a good placement to get this particular kind of a card, because this is going to set the foundation for what happens for you in the future. So, especially when you're dealing with bureaucracy, do take a little extra time. They usually have deadlines for a reason. Don't try to rush through these things. Just let them unfold naturally. From your perspective, Pisces, you are coming from a place of scarcity. You could feel like at this time that you've been left out in the cold, that you don't have the resources you need to be effective. And that is exactly how they want you to feel, right? With that Emperor in reverse. But one resource that you have an abundance of is time. So make sure that you are utilizing that time to your advantage. And that doesn't mean that you need to cram your day completely full, Pisces. It means that time is on your side, which means you can also play waiting games with people. You can also find ways to make that time work for you. From an outside person's perspective looking in, we have another wonderful secret arcana card, which is the Scream. So let me make sure I get the meaning of that correct. In the reverse, this card indicates, Pisces, that you're not being properly heard at this time. You could be screaming your lungs out and people are not receiving that message accurately from you. So just take your time. And that is the environment that this Emperor in reverse sets up, right? That's how they want it. They did that on purpose. Here in the future, Pisces, We have your fellow water sign Cancer's major arcana card, the Chariot. This is a wonderful energy to have coming through for you in the future. It's a really beautiful victory coming in for you, and there's also a lot of mobility associated with this card. The Chariot kind of represents the method of transportation between the current reality and your desired reality. Is that trebuchet that will catapult you into the reality that you desire. And it showing up in the future in the upright shows you that your victory in this situation, Pisces, is guaranteed. Here in your hopes and fears, we have the Hierophant showing up in the upright. An appeal to the prevalent moral standard. So the Emperor in reverse is kind of counter to the Hierophant in some ways. Not necessarily that the Hierophant is always on the side of right, because we're not so much talking about what is the correct moral standpoint as the prevalent moral standpoint. The Hierophant is acting as an intermediary between the higher power and the populace at large. So there's always going to be the potential there for corruption, for one's best interest to be overshadowed by the needs of all, etc., etc. But acting as that intermediary, we have this in contrast to another 5 that's down here in your perspectives on the current situation. So there might be ways that this feeling of lack and scarcity that you have right now is kind of counter to prevailing moral code. There could also be aspects for you, Pisces, of spiritual leadership on your part, such that you, as a spiritual leader, or hoping to become a spiritual leader, that will invite you into the church that's in the background. Those 5s build tension. There's a lot of conflict in the 5s. 5 of Cups, of course, depression and disappointment. The 5 of Wands, creative rivalry. And the 5 of Swords, outright war. Up here in the midheaven, so this is going to be the result of what we see down here in the Imam with this Emperor in the reverse. So because you were able to make it through this situation, you are going to see this victory coming through for you. And this is going to lead you to a place where you're able to generate generational wealth. You see here the 3 generations. You see the older person in the foreground. They are kind of passing this wealth along to the next generation, who in turn are going to pass it down to their children as well. Long-lasting stability through your lineage. The 10 of Pentacles is also the end of a financial cycle of some kind. So it can represent everything from this situation being resolved. And the final outcome for you, Pisces, is a very good card. Very good card. And is in opposition to where we see that people understand that you're not being heard at this time. in your final outcome position, we have the King of Pentacles. So this is air of earth energy. It's a very balanced, very stable energy. We have the active and passive energies balanced. And also that air and earth are kind of opposites in those elemental states. King of Pentacles can be a Taurus energy sometimes, because that's fixed earth energy. But the most important thing about the King of Pentacles showing up here in your final outcome position, and especially where we have the 10 of Pentacles as well, is that whatever hardships you are currently going through, you're going through them because of systemic failures. You're not going through these things because of a personal failure. Okay. So that's important to keep in your mind and in your heart. And also be aware that that you do have the gift of time in the current situation, and that you'll be able to utilize that to your benefit. So the card from the Empyrean deck that I pulled for you, Pisces, is amend. Amend. So there are a few tweaks and things like that here and there that you will want to take advantage of at this time. Moving from your emotional life into a more stable and balanced place of discernment and prosperity, using the alchemical transportation of the Chariot to do that. So the Chariot card, and then this energy of amending things, that is going to be the spaceship that takes you where you want to go. And because you have this time, you can make as many changes and amendments and edit and refine as much as you feel is important. So that is going to conclude the water sign readings for this week. Water sign readings. That's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So I'm going to go now over to the member side of the channel and do some mirror scrying. If that interests you, you're cordially invited. But of course, your presence here on the channel is greatly appreciated in whatever form it takes. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you again